So hello and welcome to my podcast, Conversations with David. I am your host, David Owasi, and on this podcast, we're really talking to accomplished professionals and entrepreneurs across the country. We're learning about what keeps them passionate, what keeps them going, and we're also talking about some of the lessons learned along the way. Now, I'm here with someone who I have huge respect and admiration for, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Leighton Healey. Why don't you introduce yourself, Leighton?
Hi, David. My name is Leighton Healey. I've known David for a number of years through some of his entrepreneurial ventures, so it's a pleasure to be here. I live in Western Canada with my wife, Stephanie. We've been married for 10 years this year, so that's a real special milestone. We've got a little son named John, and I have, from just a very young age, pursued, I guess, what we would label entrepreneurial ventures, and have a real passion for it, have a real passion for new venture creation and building and scaling really effective teams, have a real passion for, I would say, just the business of business.
Well, Leighton, one of the things I know that you always talk about is that not all entrepreneurs are the same, and I believe there's a talk about 4 types of entrepreneurs. There's the type 1, 2, 3, and 4. Can you just kind of lay out what that looks like and how you can recognize what type of entrepreneur you are and how that changes how you approach entrepreneurship?
Yeah, so that's something that I've kind of arrived at over working with a lot of entrepreneurs. You had referenced that I have had a fair bit of experience, I would say informally and formally coaching entrepreneurs, or let's call them people that aspire to be in business for themselves. Let's say that. And so, individuals that kind of fit that mold, I've probably personally coached several hundred of them. And really what it comes down to, I've thought about this over the years, is how do you define success and failure? So I categorize them, they're not perfect titles, but I've come to call the first category, which occupies the minds of and the orientations of probably 95%, not an exact statistic, but the vast majority of people that go into business for themselves, and we just call them lifestyle entrepreneurs. These are individuals who are building a business where, when you think of things like, the end and the means, right? So, the end represents where I'm, what I'm trying to achieve, and the means is how I get there. Okay. So someone who's a lifestyle entrepreneur is someone who they really want to have the end and the means at the same time. I'll run this small diner, I'll run this marketing firm because I want to be able to create a lifestyle now. And that's for me, it's that balance that really makes it worth it for me. That's the vast majority of entrepreneurs, or business owners, depending on how you want to title people. The second one is what I call exit-oriented entrepreneurs. This is somebody who would kind of start the business with the goal of selling it. And the means, meaning the sacrifices, the decisions, the foregone salaries, all of that is justified by the end. And the end is some hypothetical future exit, whether it's I suppose flipping a large apartment complex, or in my world, it's let's say taking a business to an acquisition to a major software company like SAP or Salesforce or what have you. And then there's what I call legacy-oriented entrepreneurs. Those are individuals who are people where for them success looks like this business that they build outlives them. Sometimes you'll hear people say things like, your business are like your children. They shouldn't die before you do. They'll say things like that. It sounds really cool, like someone who has like a social media side hustle. It's like, yeah, it makes sense. But at the end of the day, it makes no sense for what I would say a lifestyle entrepreneur. Whereas a legacy-oriented entrepreneur, that's really someone like, it's easy to reach for huge examples, people like Bill Gates or something like that. These are individuals where they really wanted to put a dent in the universe, and business was their sledgehammer. And then there's a fourth category, which is a category, and it's something, if you were to ask me, say 4 or 5 years ago, how many types of entrepreneurs, I'd probably say 3. Now I say 4. And the fourth is what I call con artists. People who, they love the buzz and the allure of the entrepreneurship community. They're always super quick to, print a business card and be the CEO of something that doesn't do anything. And in my world, I've seen people that are fantastic storytellers, and they storytell their way into teams, and they storytell their way into investors' pocketbooks, and they take a lot of resources and they incinerate a lot of resources that should be deferred to the previous 3 business styles or entrepreneur styles. So, what I would say in all of that is that the value in understanding kind of what category you fall into. And I'll be the first to say that, it's not a perfect science. I mean, some people, have characteristics of all 3, some, or all 4, I should say, some, but I've found that people lean heavily towards one or the other. And I find it effective to expose your style as you describe what success or failure looks like.